Hey, welcome back to the Car Sucker. My name is Jimmy Prater. I'm a car closer. That's what I do. I close car deals. I close and close and close and close. I close so many deals that I just love to close. I close them in my sleep. I close them where I eat. I close them when I'm talking to people. I'm always closing you. This is what we do. We close. Closers close. How do you close? How do you close a sale? How do you close a sale? You want to know how you close a sale? First of all, you got to start out with the right attitude. You got to have the energy. You have to have the right attitude. You have to have the appearance, and you got to be able to listen. People want people who can listen to them. They want to talk to people who have the energy, who can make them laugh, because you never seen anybody spend $50,000 with a frown on their face. But if you don't have a structure, you're not going to close anything. Everything comes with a structure. Salespeople have a structure. Closers have a structure. The difference between a really good salesperson is a salesperson who has all the knowledge of the product. A salesperson is closing the product, and there's two closes in a deal. There's two closes in a car deal. The closing of the figures, and there's closing of the product. The manager on the floor is closing of the figures. They're closing of the figures with mathematics and logic. Now, don't be afraid if you don't have the mathematical skills. You can call me. I'll teach you some basic mathematical skills. And it is American. Most Americans forget after they leave high school or college how to do basic mathematics. But that's why we have smartphones. That's why we have calculators. We keep them right there at the desk. That's fine. Salespeople, you're closing on the product. You got to have all of that product knowledge in you. You have all that product knowledge in you, and you spill it out to a customer. They love you. At the same time, you can do it with energy, and you can do it with laughter, and you're listening to their needs and wants. That's even better. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to give too much to a customer. You give them too much, then you might kind of intimidate them, because some customers want to know more than you. So a great closer who's closing on the product is not going to give them everything and let them walk down the street to the competitor and buy it there. You want to keep them there and just keep little bits and pieces. That's what closers do. That's what great closers do. Little bits and pieces to the customer. You want to say, oh, did you know about this? Oh, remember you were telling me, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, you were telling me that you were really concerned about some safety and some gas. You wanted to save some fuel economy, even though this vehicle's bigger than the last one that you were looking at. This one here has got a better fuel economy, and this is why. It's crazy how much product knowledge that you're getting now from the manufacturers. Great job, manufacturers, for doing that. Now you have to have a structure. That structure is to what? Meet and greet the customer right out of the gate. So that gets you on the right path to the close. Because your end result is asking for the sale. You got to ask for the sale. That's what closers do. They ask for the sale. And the hardest thing about selling a car is that you're selling something that you got to sell emotion. You're not selling something that somebody actually needs, because it's not an investment. See, real estate's easy to sell. Real estate is so easy to sell. That's why I always said, if a real estate agent ever jumped into the car business for about 6 months, goes back to the real estate business, they'd kill it. They would sell so many houses, they'd be the best closer in the country. You just have to understand that in the car business, it's a little more difficult because we're selling on emotion. But it's more fun, it's more challenging. And it's instant gratification. Now, when you close the figures, you got to understand it's the same thing. It's not it is the same thing, because closers of the product give the customers what they need to know at what time you're closing on it. The same thing goes on with a closer who's closing the figures. The hardest part of closing the figures is painting a picture of telling the customer, or trying to convince the customer of why they need to spend X amount of dollars a month, or X amount of dollars overall, or why they're going to lose X amount of dollars. But there has to be a rainbow at the end of each sale. So the closer of the figures is really not really selling or closing something tangible. Okay, so you have the closer of the figures is closing the numbers. They're closing on logic. Logic, mathematics, and presentation. Logic, mathematics, and presentation closes the vehicle. And the presentation comes from the sales. So you have to have a very good presentation in order to close the numbers. You have to be able to ask for the sale. You ask for the sale. If the figures were absolutely agreeable, would you own and take delivery of this vehicle now? See, closers it's an art form. It's like walking into an art gallery and you see a piece of abstract art. You say, wow, that is really nice. Now you want to talk to the artist. You want to know what made that artist draw that crazy abstract art. And abstract art is wonderful. And or the sunset over here on this wall at the art gallery. I want to talk to the artist why they did that. See, I'd love to learn. And that's what great closers do. They love to learn. They love to learn more and more and more closing techniques. See, like Donald Trump, President Trump he wrote a book, The Art of the Deal. We're the art of the close. We're one step higher than him because we close. When we're looking at you, we're closing you. You just don't know it because we're embedded into our own structure, our own rules of engagement, our own style of closing. We're not selling you, we're closing you. You're getting closed. You have to understand, every time you see somebody, you're closing them, and you're closing them because you follow your steps. When you meet somebody for the first time, as a salesperson, you're closing them because you gave them a compliment. The needle moved closer to the close. And then you're going to interview them. You're going to do a proper interview. Now, it's the same thing if you're closing on the figures. You're also going to ask for the final sale. You're going to ask for the signature from the customer when you're closing the figures, just like you're going to ask for the sale after you showed the customer their needs and wants as a salesperson. See, everyone has a structure. Just that everyone has a different position in the structure. If you got a great football team, you got a great quarterback, you got a great wide receiver. You got a great salesperson, you got a great floor manager. And that's what it takes. See, I love this stuff. I enjoy this stuff. I'm passionate over it. If that artist who drew that abstract art, and the artist drew that sunset, and you want to talk to somebody of how they come up with that, they're great at what they do. Now, I'm damn good at what I do because I enjoy it, and I'm passionate over it, and I always listen, and I'm always asking other closers, how'd you do it? You really want to be a great closer? I'm going to tell you a real secret of being a great closer. Is every time you close a deal, until you master it, you go in the other room, you close the sale, you close the car deal, you close the figures, go in another room when no one's around and write out the steps that you did to close that deal. Write exactly what you said to paint that picture, to make that customer feel comfortable enough to spend $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, whatever the amount of money is, or why they want to lease that vehicle per month. Write it down and say, wow, I can't believe that they bought that. I can't believe what I said. How did I come up with that? I know you've done that several times, but you forgot how you done it. You forgot how you done it because you didn't write it down. You have to write it down. Take it from me. That's what I do. When I impress myself so much, I go in the other room and I write it down. Now, honestly, most of the time I do it at nighttime when I go home because this is how much I love doing this stuff. I love to close. It's the art of the close. This is art. Closing is an art form. You have to know when you're selling that vehicle, you got to know how much information you want to give that customer because you don't want to overwhelm. It's the same thing when you're closing the figures. You have a calculator in front of you. It's okay to have a calculator in front of them. Managers, don't freak out because they have a calculator in front of them and they're quoting payments. Because if you trust your closer of the figures, you should be okay with that. If not, then you have some sort of insecurity problem. That's on you. I don't know what the issue is. But if you have a closer of the figure and they got a calculator in front of them and they're going over reasons why, they have the logic. They're creating the magic, the art. This is what they're doing. This is their job. Their job is to be a closer, and they're always closing. They're always closing because in order to always close, you have to follow a step. You have to follow your rules of engagement. To engage the client, to engage the customer, to engage the buyer. You have to follow the rules. And it's fun. It's an art form. 2 closes in a deal. You close the product and you close the figures. You close the product, you close the figures. Listen, do me a favor. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. Send me some comments. Send me some feedback. I want to know what you think about this. I want your feedback. Okay? I starve for your feedback because I starve to learn. I enjoy it. It's a drug to me. Closing is a drug. Closing is an art form. The best closers follow a structure. Figure out what your structure is. If you need help with it, I'm here for you. I want to help you. I want to help your structure. I want to make sure you have a closing process in your car dealership. Everyone must be closing that all the time. All the time they must be closing. Desk guys, you must be closing too. You have your own structure. You got to have a structure. You got to have it. But most of all, you got to have the attitude, and the customer's got to be laughing. If the customer's laughing, you got the attitude, you're home. You're home free. They're buying. You're closing them. It's it. It's it. Right out of the gate, compliment them, compliment them, compliment them. Compliment the customer, salespeople, and closers of the figures. Hey, you got to know everything there is to know about that client. You got to be properly introduced, and you got to paint that picture. That's just the 3 basic steps right there. There's 7 rules of engagement, but those are the 3 basic steps. I want to show you the 3 basic steps. I want to train you and teach you. I want you to be the best. I want to learn from you as well. Talk to me. Hit that little button right down there. I don't know if you see that little button, that's a little Sharky button, that little Sharky button. You hit that little Sharky button right there. That will subscribe you to my channel. If you hit that bell, go ding-a-ling-a-ling, and then it will notify you for the next time I upload a video. And I like to upload videos because I'm constantly thinking about how to be a better closer. I love to close. Closing is the real deal. Energy. You got to have energy as a closer. High energy will close the deal. Listening, high energy. Basic mathematics, logic, mathematics, presentation, attitude. You got to have the right attitude. You got to be listening. You got to have the right appearance. Let's go. Have appearance can just be your personality. Your appearance can be a smile, a great handshake, a great gesture. You just gotta be fun, and people gotta love you. They gotta want to be you. You gotta be attracted to each other. The client, the customer, the buyer. Let's go. Next time you see a customer, look right at him, and just go, oh boy. Take inside your head how much money you're going to make, because you're going to make a lot of money off from them. So go, make fun, have fun, make them laugh, make them smile, and go, close something. Yeah!